Guys, live here at Pro Play Games. We have a top 8 competitor from this weekend from regionals. What's your name and what'd you play?
My name is Antonio Izzo, and I played Barrier Statue Stun.
Barrier Statue Stun? Wow,
yes,
against the whole new Zodiac format. That's pretty
much.
Interesting. Just chose to go against the tide on this one.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out what you played, man.
So really quickly, a little context about the event. I'll just talk about the matches real quick. I came late, so I actually entered with a round 1 loss, which was kind of interesting. But I had a round 1 loss. Round 2, I played Cubics. I won that match 2-0. Round 3, I played Zodiac Battle Foe. I won that match 2-0. Round 4, I played ABC, and I actually had a draw. One game to 1 game. I lost in time that second game, so I had a tie on that. And round 5, Zodiac Kaiju. I won that match 2-1. Round 6, Magispector. Won that match 2-0. And the final round was Zodiac Kaiju again, where I managed to win the match 2-1. So I essentially went undefeated, except for losing to the first round loss, where I was late, and then the draw, which was unfortunate. But yeah, so that's the context for the event. First time I've ever played this deck at a regional. First time topping a regional. First time that this deck has topped a regional with me as the pilot. So I'm quite pleased with it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. And yeah, I guess we can get into the profile
cool.
now. So.
All right, awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah, so I played 3 Fossil Dynas.
Sweet.
This is pretty basic, pretty standard for Barrier Statues. You want to see this opening hand all the time. You want to play this at all times. It is the win condition pretty much, essentially, of the deck. So it's pretty basic. I decided to play 3 wind statues. I used to play the Earth, but with the changing meta, obviously that's not really playable anymore. So I went to Wind. I was concerned about Magispector and possibly Wind Witch, but I didn't see any Wind Witch. And honestly, against Magispector, I decided it out, and it really didn't matter. So
you decided into a different barrier statue? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I'll show you that inside. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, every other game, it worked just fine. No issues with that whatsoever. The last monster I actually played a Thunder King. I don't like seeing this at the beginning or too early, especially not opening hand if it's my only monster, but I know for a fact every time I play this mid to late game, it pretty much locks the game for me, because now my opponent can't search, they can't shuffle the deck, they can't get to their outs. It's pretty good. I really like it. It helped me out. I don't mind it. I like it as a 7th monster. I used to have another statue, but I felt like it's just not needed, and I'd rather have something else. Also, another out to Denko Seiko, which really hurts the deck massively. So that's really it for the monsters. Low monsters, pretty standard. I played 2 MST. I wanted to have this in the main instead of the side, just to have auto answers to Royal Decrees or any anti-spell fragrance cards like that, or any random back row that I want to clear for damage. Worked just fine, no issues with that. I played 3 Lance. Another great card, not only for damage step uses, but for saving the Fossil Dynas and your monsters. You gotta save them. It's pretty crucial. I liked it, I had no issues with that. Great card. I played 3 Pot of Duality. You gotta search, you gotta turbo the deck as fast as possible. So that's pretty standard, no issues at all. Didn't conflict with the Thunder King. I played 3 Cardomize. I used to play 2. And then I didn't see it as much, so I bumped it up to 3, and it really helped. I saw it all the time, every match, almost every game, and it pretty much makes this deck viable.
So you're playing a lot of draw power. You think yes. Pot of Desires, do you think is too risky in this deck?
Honestly, in my opinion, yes. Not only do I not have it, and it's somewhat expensive, but I don't think you need it. You play these 3, you play the dualities, and you play the 1 upstart for a 39 card consistency. Honestly, that's enough. The risk of just to draw 2, banish 10 cards, and possibly losing, I only play 7 monsters. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's worth it. But if you like gambling, and you like giving it a shot, you can. I see a lot of people do it, but I didn't need it. I didn't need it at all.
That's interesting.
Then I played Raigeki. I just wanted to have 1 board clear immediate out in the deck. I don't want to always have to side into it. Pretty standard. It was helpful. I didn't have any issues with it. And then the last spell card was Book of Moon. It's a good interruption card. It's a good quick play. It's a very good utility card. I enjoyed it. I didn't have any issues with that as well. Heavy trap lineup. I played all the Solemns pretty much. The three strikes and the 1 warning. I mean, it's fantastic. I used to only have 2 strikes. I got a third. I put it in the third, and it's been great. I used it all the time. No issues with it. Fantastic. I played 3 Mirror Force. A lot of people, honestly, they don't like it, or they say play something that doesn't destroy, or drownings, or stormings, or something. But to be honest, once this deck gets the lock that it needs, it's really just 1-for-1 against your opponent. They summon, because they can only normal summon, they attack, they lose their monster, next turn I can attack for damage, and then I repeat that process until I win. So Mirror Force really was just fine. I had no problems with it at all.
Have you ever tried other alternatives, or are you just stuck with good old Mirror Force?
I didn't. The only other, I'll show you, the only other Mirror Force I played was Quaking. More of like a utility tech, really, and for like, odd cards that can't be destroyed or whatnot, but that's it. I found like four copies of Mirror Force of any kind is fine, and these 1-for-1s I think were just fine. I had no problems with it throughout the day. I played the 3 swords.
Well, that's really interesting. What does this do again?
So pretty much you activate it, you target one of your monsters, and it'll gain 800 attack, and then if it's going to die, you can send this to save it once, so it gives it an extra life. Unfortunately, the boost is not permanent, so if this goes away, it loses the boost. That's unfortunate, but it's great for damage step uses and for protecting against Raigekis and Dark Holes and stuff like that. Most people don't play a whole bunch of outs as far as destruction for the statues, so you save them once, they're kind of, it's going to be pretty difficult to get rid of them after that.
That's interesting.
And I went ahead and I also played the 3 wings. It's the same thing essentially, except it's not continuous and it's not an equip. So, and it only gives you a 500 boost, but it is permanent. So once you do that to a Fossil Dyna, not too many people can normal summon anything that's 1700 or higher to run it over. And it's great. You can, they stack, so you can definitely boost up the monsters pretty well. And it worked fine. 3/3 was completely fine for me.
Super interesting tech.
I played 3 Dark Bribe. This is honestly probably the MVP. It's so helpful against Twin Twisters. Every time people side in all their outs,
is pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, all their outs to try and deal with the game and take control away from me pretty much. You just Dark Bribe it, and that's it. There's not much else they can do. So Dark Bribe was fantastic. And then the 2 other, the last traps I played, Bottomless and Compulsory. Again, just spot removal, 1-for-1 cards. They can be, they can be interruptive, and they're again another utility for both of them. That worked pretty well, so I enjoyed it. It was good. It's good. So that's the main deck. I guess I'll go to side. I'll do extra last because extra is pretty useless. But so for the side, I played 3 Banishers. I used the main one. I took it out because I found it somewhat useless. Honestly, it was for like Infernoids or any random Burning Abyss players that don't want to let that deck die. You put this in and it pretty much ends the game at that point. I didn't really side it in. I didn't need it this time, but I felt it was okay to have, and so I played 3. These are the statues that I played to side into. Against the Magispector player, I did side in these 3, because obviously they're wind, and it worked fine. Also against some of the Zodiac players, especially if they're playing Kaijus, a lot of times once they notice you're playing the wind statue, they'll have like the wind Kaiju to try and deal with your board. So once you go into game 2 or 3 and you side into these, some of their Kaijus become useless. Nobody plays the dark one, and I don't really see the fire one that often. So it's a good kind of mix up, and it worked fine. Those 3 statues were fine for me. I played the other Thunder King. Honestly, I'm probably going to take that out. I don't think I need it. If I don't want to see it as much at 1, I definitely probably don't want to ever play it at 2. Yeah. But if I ever felt I needed a really locked down searching or something, or I needed another beater or something, I had access to it if I wanted it. This will probably be system down, because I really hated that game against ABC.
Yeah, system down seems pretty good, yeah.
So I'm going to probably swap that and one of the Banishers for 2 system downs, because the ABC matchup is pretty bad. The last MST, again, for more back row hate or more clearing of royal decrees and stuff like that. Anything that people side in that stays on the field to try and hurt my board. The 2 Dark Holes, just more board wipes from board clears when going second against Zodiac. This is really good. I mean, if you open this, you blow up their field, and then you lock them out, they can't really do anything.
Yeah,
And
they can't recover.
I'll be honest, I did it all the time.
Really?
I had 3 Zodiac matches.
Going second.
When I went second, I would have this, I would just drop it, then I'd summon a Fossil Dyna, and they're like, well, I can't play it. I was like, well, yeah, that's the point. So
To close out.
totally good, love it. I played 2 Swords of Concealing Light. I'm gonna give a shout out to my friend Izzy, because he told me to play these, and I was like, all right, I'll give him a shot. So I put him in, and this essentially outright won me the game against Magispector, because I won the first game. Second game, I had to go second. So in my opening hand, I had the Dark Holes that I sided, but he had a field of 3 Magispectors, can't be destroyed with card effects. So
Kieran.
I was like, man, yeah, Kieran, I think the raccoon guy and somebody else. And I was like, man, what am I gonna do? So I Pot of Duality, and the 3rd card of Pot of Duality was this.
Oh god.
So I just added this, flipped the board down and just destroyed it. Wow. And after that, I mean, it was pretty much game over. I took the lock from that point, and he couldn't come back. So clutch card, absolutely clutch card. Ring of Destruction, also another idea of my friend Izzy's. I put it in a lot against Zodiacs because I feel like if I need another 1-for-1 like spot removal card, I can play this. And since most of them are weak, I don't take a whole bunch of damage, so I don't mind paying the life points to get rid of their monsters. So that's pretty much the only reason I played this. And the last 2 cards, I played 2 Master of Strict. I didn't have anything else, honestly, to put in, so I left these in there. I mean, if I saw Monarchs, or maybe even against Magispector, I felt like I could put these in if I had to. I never used them, I didn't slide them in, but I don't know, we might see
Stop
Monarchs.
Kaijus, if anything.
Yeah,
like
or
worst
we might
case,
see,
I guess, yeah.
Might see some Monarch players now, I don't know if people pick up the deck again, so I'll probably leave them in. So that's the side. The extra is pretty useless, to be honest with you. You don't need it. You don't have to play one at all in any way, shape, or form.
Worst case scenario, I guess.
Pretty much. And so I only played, I played some 3 ranks like Alucard, Bram Pulse, Nightmare Shark, and Acid Golem. Only so that, I have Banishers, if I put them in, and if I really absolutely need to do this, I can do it if I have to.
Yeah.
Never did, probably never will, but you have options. And then the rest are all 4 ranks. Like standard cards like Cowboy, Abyss Dweller, number 106, Castell, Black Scorpion. This guy, honestly, I'm probably never going to use it. I'll probably take that out for like Diamond Direwolf or something.
Okay, yeah.
Go Goliath. I actually did use that when I played the Earth statues, and I was able to detach and get a Fossil Dyna back from the grave, but that's like never going to happen. And then just like Karangorn, Utopia, Dark Rebellion, Gemini Pearl. Essentially, this is only here, most of them, so that if I deal with like Chalice or Skill Drain, I can still summon 2 monsters and exceed into like a beater or something that can at least give me more potential on the field. But that's it. I'm probably never gonna go into it.
Well, thank you so much for the deck profile. Congrats again with an interesting deck, and I'll see you here next time.
Thank you, appreciate it.